Down and safe. Stand by.
Yes, hi kids, we're back on the tip of the Blake 7 Federation guns. Firstly, I'd like to apologise for all the lies. The massive catalogue of lies that I've been spewing over the last few videos to do with this. I look back, because it's been about 2 months since I did a video on this, and I looked back at some of the things like, this video is the penultimate video. A lie. Oh, this won't take long. A lie. I'll be back next week with more. A lie. So many lies. The truth is, the only bit of truth is I tell lies. No, basically, as you all know, and as you probably experience in your own lives, stuff gets in the way. As you'll know with me by now, anytime I start a project, such as painting hitchhikers' canvases, and this, and sculpting, and Marvin kits, and all sorts of stuff, and movies, it takes a long time. I've jumped from one to the other, as is my ADHD brain, and eventually I may get round to it. The good thing about having a YouTube channel is that people do kind of encourage you to get going, and I've noticed in the last few days I've gained 3 or 4 new subscribers, so thank you and hello and welcome to the circus, and thank you for sticking by me, and I hope you find something interesting. Feel free to look through my past videos. There's TV, movie stuff, costume props, movies, making movies, as well as that kind of stuff, and prop builds, and all sorts of bizarre stuff that comes out of my noggin. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that we're now on part 4, finally, of these, and as you can see, they're nearly finished, and there's a weird kind of Battlestar Galactica style lens flare coming off this, which I kind of like. Maybe my camera needs cleaning, but here we are on part 4. I have told many lies about this being the last video. I don't know if it will be the last video, because I've just checked my PC. I've got tons of videos covering all the bits and bobs that have gone into these guns so far, and we're still not finished, so this won't be the last video. I'm hoping, here comes another lie, folks, I'm hoping that the next one will be the last one, because really I haven't got much to finish on these. Anyway, I think we just better get into it. Let's rewind a bit and catch up on some of the videos that I've shot while I was putting this together. Cut the slot. I admit the slot is not dead center. Why? Because I'm an idiot. So glued, pushed in, masking tape all around here, marked off where these are going to go after it's been sprayed. Obviously I need some masked off area to glue onto. These are on. There is a greebly that needs to go on here. I don't have the correct pieces, obviously, but I'll look in my greebly box for something that looks similar to the thing that goes on there. The sight goes all the way up to here. And I've discovered that doesn't quite fit. I'm not going to try and warm it up and squeeze it on. I'm going to put some extra pipe in there, in the back, and then fit it onto there. Obviously the second black ring has got to go on the back here, level with the edge of the things. There, D-ring on the back, couple of screws in the holes here, plus the push button. Haven't made the sight yet, but other than that, it's almost done, the first one. I have put very long screws through there. They're squished a bit because I wanted the screw heads to be a little bit more flush. I don't know if I'll cover them up with something. I might put filler in them or something. I may even put a dome on the end of the stock there, because there is a hole there. Now on the other side, the screws came through quite long, but I've got a cutting disc on the old Dremel there and cut off the ends of the screws. I'll probably get the the grinding cylinder and take them down a tiny bit more. But one thing I realized I had to do, you can't, when can we see it? Focus. The black ring needed to be ground down a little bit because the circle, you can just about see it there, the circle of the stock intrudes on the edge of the black ring. So that was ground down to accommodate that. Now this did make some crunchy noises as I was screwing it in, but it is well sturdy. It is well sturdy. So I still need to cut off a bit more of the insert. I say the insert, this piece, because that no longer fits within the outline. So I got to take a little bit off the top, just so it fits on. I mean, yeah, could do with just a little bit taken off the top. And do you know what I think I'm going to do? As crazy as this sounds, the notch on the end, you see that notch? It's not in line with the middle. I think I'm going to saw it off and move it counterclockwise a little bit so it is dead center, because that is playing with my brain. I mean, there's plenty wrong with this, but it's not terrible. Okay, it's about that time. I've put some masking tape on both of the rings, which are not great. Tricky thing to mask off. And the main part of the stock. I've also put masking tape within the line of the light coloured pieces that need to go on at the end. But let's do some primer. Well, it's a lovely sunny day out here. So that has been primered pretty well. Only two attacks at it. Mainly the primer's there to make a key for the actual colour itself, but yeah, I'm not going to overdo the primer. I think that's fine, and it's drying in seconds out here in the sun. But what I do is I hang it up here. I can't even see what I'm doing on my phone, so apologies. If you can see that, hang that up there, in there, and then that over there, and he dries nicely. I mean, he's bone dry anyway. Look at it. It's fantastic. And now we can see what we're doing. It's a shame these are very small cans. I've got 3, so that should be all right for a couple. The old double acrylic. This is the Roman bronze. Ford Roman bronze. There you go. Let's go and get some of this on the gun and see what happens. Okay, so I can't see nothing on screen really. I just hope that's coming out, because I can't even see my counter ticking down, so maybe I'm not even filming. Oh yes, I am, I think I can tell. So that's the other side. I've gone very lightly on this one. You can still see some grey underneath, because this paint comes out at such a rate there, and there it is, comes out so fast that it goes on thick and it's wet and sticky and it runs. So you've got to be very careful on this. So I'm going very brief light coats. Don't worry about catching it all. Better to do 2 or 3 light coats and have a nice paint finish, if at all possible, than to do 1 or 2 thick coats and ruin it, as is usually how I do things. So I think it's had all the paint it's going to have on it. I've noticed that the edge around the handle, because it's the cut edge of the material, it's quite absorbent and it sucks in paint, even if it's primered. So it's not ideal. Maybe I could do stuff by hand, I don't know. But other than that, it's not bad. It's very hard to get paint into the square tubes there. I might even get a little bit of black paint on a brush just to darken the insides a bit. But I'm happy with that. It's very bright out here. But it's baking nicely in the sun, which is good with the help of the wind. And it does look a very nice sort of dark chestnutty brown when it needs to be. I mean, there's a nice little metallic sparkle on it as well. So I'm going to call this one painted. Take it indoors in a bit and maybe start on the second one. I'm going to do the very satisfying peeling and revealing of. Okay, so I thought I'd speed this up because this video itself is going to be quite a long one, but I'm trying to get in as much footage as possible so that the next video I do on these guns will be the final one. He says, trying not to lie, like I have in the past. But hopefully you'll enjoy this little time lapse of me peeling off all the masking tape, ready for the next section. Okay, next bit. This has been glued on with a blob of E6000. You can just see a little bit shiny squishing out the side there, but I think it's quite nice. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to paint this any particular color at all, but there is still, aside from the stock, there is something missing, and that is the telescopic sight bit out there. So what am I going to do with the telescopic sight thing? Let's put that there. Right, I have ordered and finally arrived 3mm steel rods, much stronger than your average coat hanger. So the plan is to put one like that, pretty much level with the end of the barrel, and it needs the thingy on the end. So I worked out that I need to bend a bit off the end, which I have done. Here is one I made earlier in Blue Peter style. So basically what happens is I'm going to drill a hole. Let's see if I can show you. Oh, there we go. So I drill a hole in the middle of the thing at the right place, about there. And as you can see, it goes in, it'll go all the way in, and it'll sit up just above the barrel, the end of the barrel. But I still need a block on the end and a sight. So my plan is Legos. I shouldn't call them Legos. They're not Legos. They're Lego. There is no plural. I don't care what you think. So basically, it's a 1x3 Lego piece, and basically that's going to go in there like that. Obviously, I'm going to put some either epoxy glue or possibly just soda glue, which is a super glue plus baking soda into there. That'll hold it nice and steady. Once that's, well, before that's on, I'm going to have to cut out a little shape of plasticard, which will be something like that shape. So basically, that will be cut out onto plasticard, glued onto the top of the block like so. Ping, and then popped into there. And then this can be painted. So I can spray paint this the same color brown as the gun before I fit it, put it in, glue the end of the rod, and that's the sight done. Okay. Two Federation Trooper rifles almost finished. I'd say they're about 85%. Let's go into what I've done so far and what needs to be done and where we go from here. I'm making 4, and these are the 2 that are closest to the finish line. Right, so as I say, I'm about 85% done with these. The things that these are missing, I'm going to put some fake screws in the holes there. There's nothing goes there and there, there and there. I'll fake it with something, maybe either a real screw head or maybe I'll fake it with milliput or something, I don't know. Obviously the cloth fabric strap should go on there, but I'm not concerned about that too much. There's a D-ring that's supposed to go on the back, so you drill 2 holes and put a wire loop on the back, and obviously the big stock piece, which is going to be bigger than that on the back, which I still need to get cut and sorted, but I need the material like Perspex or whatever to make that. The only other thing is the sight, and I don't know if I've talked about this previously, but we'll talk about it again. The sight is made of a piece of steel rod and a piece of Lego. These are 1x3 Lego bits, and basically they're perfect.
So all I've done, on the end of this rod, I've got my Dremel and cut some little nicks to give it a bit more purchase. Fill the rod with either super glue and baking soda, or in the case of some of the others, I put some really strong filler in there. Super glued a piece of Perspex onto the top little plastic card for the sight, and that goes, I need to drill a hole in the center divot at the right point so that basically when it sticks out it's level with the edge of there, and then obviously this is going to be sprayed the same color brown, but that's going to go down in there. I'll super glue that into place, and that's two. Now I have said that the reason I'm making these is to try and raise money for things like the film and other projects, and the one thing that's coming really obvious to me is my PC is crashing on a daily basis, which my PC is my life. It's my work, it's my social media, and it's how I do YouTube videos, but more importantly, it's my work. It's how I pay the rent. So I've got to start putting money aside for a new PC. So I've got 4 of these on the go. These 2 are the most finished, but like I say, they're not perfect. There are scuffs and scratches and dodgy paintwork and bits that are less than 100%. You know what I mean? I mean, on the real thing, this should have a dome on the end, which I suppose you could glue on some kind of dome. The holes wouldn't the screws wouldn't normally be visible, and there's there's little rough areas here and there. To be honest, the real Blake 7 props themselves would be scratched and damaged to heck and back. There would be a difference in size of whether how much pipe sticks out here or not, that kind of thing, slightly different end caps, but they're quite nice. I think they're quite nice for what they are. Obviously that's not a functioning thing. You'll have seen how I've made the button, but it looks exactly like the real thing, so that's quite nice. Trigger doesn't work, obviously, but I think they're not bad for what they are. They look pretty good. When these were available from different people who used to make them, you'd pick up one of these, probably with the strap as well, for 150, maybe more, maybe coming up to £200 kind of thing. I'm not looking for that much money on these because they're, like I say, they're not perfect. It's my first time at building them, and I don't believe in charging an absolute fortune for things anyway. So if you're interested in one of these, there's only 4 going once I finish them all, and they'll be less than £100, but you'll have to drop me a message, and obviously don't tell me keep one for me, I'll pay you when I get the money. It's more a case of whoever pays up gets it straight away. But yes, I'm going to finish making the stocks for these, and then we'll start working out a way to package them. Obviously this doesn't get any shorter than that because there's a screw in the way, but they do extend really nicely. Oh, sorry, you couldn't see that, could you? There you go. Look at that. Look at that. That's good. Nearly 2.5 feet. So I think they're pretty cool. The scale is about right. They're not 100% perfect, but they're, because of the design, they're completely unique. You don't see any you won't mistake that for any other laser pistol from anything else. So that's what's going on with the guns. Again, this one, the screws, the sight, the D-ring. I've already put 2 holes in the back there for the loop, and the strap. And that's about it. I mean, I think I'll touch up some of the, because that's MDF and it doesn't like the paint too much, so I may get some super glue to seal it and then repaint it. But other than that, I quite like them. They're a nice deep color, metallic kind of glisten to it, and yeah, reasonably decent looking guns. I am happy with them, no matter how scruffy they are and scuffed around the edges and stuff. I'm surprised that I got them as good as I have, and they're quite sturdy. I wanted to make sure that these would not fall apart if you drop them on the floor. I mean, things would break if you dropped it, let's face it. It's not steel, but it's reasonably good. I think, yeah, that's number 2. I think they're good for what they are. But then again, your mileage may vary. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm certainly not saying I'm the worst, but I'm definitely not the best at doing this kind of thing. But there's an update for you on what's happening with the guns. Okay, welcome to the battlefield. So the other 2 remaining guns are here and here. This one does not have, that's not a permanent handle. It's missing a trigger. I may fit a trigger to it actually, and you make use of it because the rest of it is in decent shape. But usually I just put this on temporarily so I can get everything else together. As you can see, I've just put the ring on the front, the black ring, and the white pieces. On this one is falling behind, but I've got the slot cut, and I've got the slot cut in the barrel, so he's ready to have the black ring and the white things, which I have been cutting. So yeah, they're all in there along with the rest of the plates, which thankfully I've painted them all a long time ago. These are the 2 remaining extension things for the stocks, and I do have 3 remaining sights assembled, ready to go. What else have we got? End caps in there, spare white stick, and that was a test. That was a test just to get the drilling right. Anyway, yeah, the black rings are here. There's a couple more rings. That's just paper on that. So it's getting there. I do have somewhere in there, I have buttons made, and filler and baking soda, and a template made of toilet roll for cutting the ends of the barrels, which is very handy actually. Dremel's ready for action. So now it's a case of just gluing more of these on. I am sanding the white pieces. As you may remember, I don't know if I've covered this, it didn't seem long enough. It needed to be further forward, so I decided to basically, instead of disassembling all this section here, I just cut straight across there with the help of my friend Steve, and we just added about 15 mil of ABS pipe, which still needs sanding because it's not dead flat, but I'll do a bit of sanding using the old Dremel. And there's another handle which needs a bit of filling. There's a bit of a dip here, but other than that, that's basically ready to go, which I think is good. And then the 4th one will be that one, and yeah, it's coming together, not particularly brilliantly. Do you know what's weird? I got these handle shapes laser cut about 14 months ago. It's weird how quickly it's gone by. It's quite scary actually, because it feels like it was like a couple of weeks ago. Turns out it was over a year. That's what I get for you know, spacing out my projects and doing too many things at once, and then stopping to make films and all sorts of stuff. So it's good that we're getting close to the end, but I do need more shapes cut for the stocks. I've got a spare steel rod there for a 5th gun if it ever materializes. Maybe I'll make a 5th one day. And yeah, so place needs a tidy up. I do have a bin. That's my bin. But everything else could do with a bit of a tidy up and start throwing some junk out. And I will do that in time for the film. Thanks for watching this week. I'm going to leave it here rather than stretch out an ending. And we will catch you next Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Take care now. Bye-bye then.